Oof, you know what? Go Big Red, everybody. Still go Big Red. This is HuskerHolys. That wasn't the result we thought, but you know what? We're going to keep our heads up. We got Jumbo Jet, Jon Linden. Clear the runway. Clear the runway. Here he is. Oh, there he is. Hey, Jumbo Jet, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, no problem. You know, it's a tough loss. It really is.
Yep.
I would take this loss in this game. I took this harder than I did some of the losses the last 9 years.
Yeah.
Kind of like remind me of the time when Osborne and Solich was playing, even a little bit of Pliny, where we just came up and we just beat everybody. And when we lost, it was a shock, and it took us till Wednesday of the next week to get over it, because we know in a couple more days we'll play a game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even today, it's Sunday, I'm still disappointed. I'm just like, I can't believe that we lost to this team. A team, yes, it dominated.
We had a lot of things in our favor for us to win. Yeah, it's a bummer.
They dominated us on the line. I get that. We did play a little bit better, but we gave up 7 sacks, and that stinks. Royal played great. He had one mix-up on coverage where he thought it was man-to-man. It was zone coverage where he threw that interception, even though that the guy tipped it to him, all right? But he still played lights out. He still played good. We went on drives and we scored. Mm-hmm. We went on drives and we scored. All right. Michigan didn't go on drives and score. They played at three plays that we did not tackle very good, or nobody's there, and it was boom. And they scored on all those 3 big runs. Okay. So it tells me that Nebraska has some work to do.
Yeah, that's my
But when
thing.
you score 27 points against a very good defense.
Yeah. And I will say, and especially when you're beaten in the trenches, but you can sustain drives, that's really a testimony to how good Holgerson's offense is and some of the talent. I thought, for the most part, Ja'Cory Barney was inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that, where I actually did not get to watch the game. I had, before the game, Lucky Ducky Creek Band, my band, actually recorded its Christmas album. We're going to release it on Black Friday, but if you listen till the end, we got a sneak peek. We've done a cover of a song that you really like from probably the best Christmas movie ever, and since it isn't really a Christmas song, I thought we could share this one a little bit for the Bug Pod fans. You've seen Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, right?
Yes, I have.
It's the best Christmas movie of all time.
That's right.
And they have a song called Barbecue, and so at the end I'll put it on there. So yeah, but I thought my whole thing was, I admit, after the Frost years of Nebraska, by the way, Frost is 4-0. He dominated Belichick, but Belichick's team is not very good. But we'll see. But my whole thing is, I'm not a sunshine pumper. I'm not everything's okay, everything's fine. But I'm like, you know what I see? This is a young team. I do think Coach Rule is the right coach. I think we got some talented kids. We've got some good coaches on staff. I think they can bounce back and still win a lot of games. We could still win 8 or 9 games.
I look at it. You're talking about Barney. You know, this is the first time we've had somebody
excuse me,
for a kickoff return or punt return over 90 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is game 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our team, our coaches, we're getting the shit turned around.
We are.
All right, our
we
special teams come. I mean,
so I'm
Archie,
not panicking.
holy bucket! Did he have a game or what?
That guy punts automatically.
He punts left-footed. I think if he would have went to the right, he would have kicked it right-footed. I want to see that, but I think we got the pieces there. All right. We as fans need to start believing a little bit more and stop thinking about the past. Because if we start believing, these kids are going to start believing, and watch out. Because I look at it, I think if we play that game later in the season, we end up winning.
I agree. I agree with that. I do agree with that. If we played them later in the season, no doubt in my mind we win that game.
Yeah, and I look at it this way, where we need a game like this to spur us on for the next game, because we don't like this feeling. They don't like this feeling.
Yeah.
I got to play better. I mean,
They know they're a better team.
And there's
it
little...
felt like a better team. It felt like we were at least Pelini good these first few games.
And I don't feel like, hey, we could upset Michigan. No, we can beat Michigan.
Yes.
And the biggest thing on what I see is, yes, we had some freshman or young player mistakes. Barney had a great first half. Great first half. Making that catch right at the Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary. I was at the gas station, and it was on the radio at the gas station. Everyone went nuts at the gas station.
Great. But when we get that kickoff, or was it a kickoff return, right? Mm-hmm. What's he do?
Was that the one he fielded at the four instead of let it go?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, you're sitting there like, okay, hey, you had a great first half, young man, but come on, we got to be better than that.
Situational football.
Okay, and we got to know
that's
that.
a young player mistake, too.
And I believe Rule will coach him up on that.
Yeah.
And these guys will be better. We got a bye week. Then we play Michigan State. We're going to come out with our hair on fire, I think.
I think so. Like, if we lose to Michigan State, I will be shocked and appalled and disappointed.
Yeah.
But I think we come out better.
And I think this is a great
gut
time to... Yeah, it's a gut check, but I think there's stuff on tape now and stuff like, okay, we're not as good as we thought we were, but we're not nearly as bad as what we think we are.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
They'll go on this bye week, give some of those kids some time off.
Get some rest.
I think it's our first of two, right?
Yeah.
Bye week. And then we'll get going on that. And then, you know what? If we do not come out with our hair on fire, okay, against Michigan State, then there is something wrong. We're going to play Michigan State. We're going to probably dominate them. We're going to probably dominate, and then we're going to get to that USC game.
That's going to be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, and to me, I'm sitting there like, I haven't watched much USC, and the thing is, like, I'm watching a lot of the college football stuff, and I'm sorry, is there bias? You bet there is.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Especially against Nebraska.
Notre Dame is like 0-3, and they're ranked. Come on, man.
No, I don't think they're 0-3. I think they're
0-2. They haven't won a game, and they're ranked.
But no, they beat.
Oh, they beat someone this week?
Yeah, Purdue.
Okay, they finally won a game.
2,
but last week when they had no wins, they were ranked.
Yeah,
it was weird.
But I'm sitting there like I don't think the Big Ten is getting as much credit as they deserve.
Yeah.
But I also think the teams that we got from the Pac-12 or whatever Pac that was, the Pac-10, Pac-12, aren't getting as much as respect.
I could go for a six-pack
and I get that. Because they were a weak conference. I still think they were. And they're not as strong as they are. But they did, like Oregon played well. They scored 46 points again. Illinois, holy buckets. Illinois, what happened to them guys? They got destroyed.
They got destroyed?
Yes.
Okay, 64. Who beat them?
Indiana.
Indiana's good again? Boy.
Yeah. But, I'm sitting there, and these guys, like, I looked at the rankings, and they stayed live. And here's Miami. Miami, who pays for their players, ranked number 2. Everybody else who didn't play dropped down. I'm sorry. Miami is not the second best team. Okay? They play in the ACC. They're probably like one or two teams that are actually good, and Clemson's not one of them.
Nope.
And maybe Florida State, but they're not probably as good as we think they are too. So that thing's going to be wide open. But Miami should, but they're not the number 1, 2, the second ranked best team in the United States.
There's definitely I think people want to see Miami back, and so they're being a little nostalgic.
Well, they always do. Like, we're better when Miami is and Florida State's there. You know what? We're better when Nebraska's there, too.
Yeah. And I want to see Nebraska get relevant. I think we can get there. And I know the fans are seeing what Cignetti is doing with Indiana, and time will tell how sustainable what Cignetti is doing is. We just don't know. But, I see things getting better with Rule. Yeah. They are. This loss was a setback, but, I remember Chippy back when he was living with us here, he would he'd get really down about the game, and he'd say, "I like the bug pod though. It's positive. It helps me move on." And this helps you guys move on and look ahead. And then, the great Mr. Berger used to say, Hollis, stay with us. And you know what? I used to get a lot more down, but, I am staying with the Huskers.
Yeah.
I do think, believe, man,
And let me piggyback on how long this is going to be sustainable. I don't think so. Until they get like a salary cap, it's the Wild Wild West, and you can buy anything. Mm-hmm. One thing that, and I think it's true. Like, yeah, you can buy players to help with certain things, but you need to develop players.
Yeah.
And I know we have some guys that came in and helped.
We have
our own line now. Granted, they are better than they have been. We're still developing. There are some young players are on that team that's going to help this team in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we want them now. We want them to grow up faster. And you know what? It might take a year or two for these guys to get better. And by the time Dylan's a junior and a senior, we're going to be going, okay? We are still young sophomores and freshmen team players, okay? We have a sprinkle some juniors and some seniors, but I don't know. I'll take it to my grave. I'll fight anybody on this. I think we are a better team, and we can still be 1-0 going into that Penn State game. With one loss. Excuse me.
Yeah, we still could. And I did see the NCAA did make it. They're only going to have one transfer portal window open, which is good. They're starting to clamp down some of the stuff, but it's just, it's tough. We have 2 5-star, $1 million linemen on our offensive line. We have Rocco Spindler and Pritchett, and Pritchett's been kind of underachieving lately. And it's just kind of a bummer that we were dominating up front with those. I'm not a type anymore that says fire the coaches anymore. When I was younger and stupider, I used to be that, but I'm like, we need to figure out.
When you're young and dumb, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I should have been kicked a couple times, but anyhow, we do exactly just like that. But we need to figure out what do we need to do that gets us dominating up front again? Back when we had Milt Teneper, who, believe it or not, I know people who knew Milt, and his book is like extremely rare. The Assembly Line, it costs like $1,000 used on Amazon, because there's not many left. But like Milt Teneper, we had dominant offensive lines, and I know people that met Milt, and they said he was not really a good coach. And so I got to, what do we need to do again to get dominant on the O-line, to get Outland trophies? What do we need to do that? What's the secret sauce? What do we need to do?
It's simple.
Okay.
It's homegrown.
Yeah.
You look at all those players back in the 90s when we were winning national championship. We got guys from Nebraska, okay? Uyghur, Dishman, all those guys were Nebraska-grown football players, and they started as a freshman. They got redshirted. They went through the battles. They went through there, and they got better and better and better. Now, there are certain things that they can't do now that they did back in the day.
The county scholarships.
I'm not talking about scholarships. I'm talking about the number of players. And Osborne had 3 full teams going at 3 different practices, okay? And you sit there, and even if you look at Grant Wistrom and everything else during that time, on the defense, they played in the pit, and a lot of young men grew up. All right, they went from boys to men in that pit.
Yep.
Okay, and and that's what we need. We need these guys, and I think I don't think we are on the right track. It's keeping these offensive linemen working on it. Yes, we want them to grow up now, but we got to develop them into our system. If we have to buy something, then that means 2 things. Our coaches didn't do enough to get rid of them, or we just need to get better talent.
Yeah.
And I think we have the talent there. They need to get in there, lift weights, get stronger, understand the offense, understand blocking, because the blocking scheme right now is so different versus I'm just going to push you out of the way, boom, right? No, if he lines up in A gap or B gap or be shaded, this is what you do. This is what you do. Your hand placement has to be here. Outside has to be over here. Stuff like that. If he moves over, now that makes a totally different block. Yep. And that's the thing is you got to think. And football players are not dumb anymore. I mean, they are smart men that have to decide, okay, he's playing this technique. I got to do this block. And that makes the other person have to do this block. And if everybody's on the same page, boom, we score. Or we get a first down or something like that. But if one person doesn't do it, boom. That's what happens with a lot of those guys. They came down and they rushed or sacked Dylan.
Yeah.
And plus they ran a Chicago defense, a 52 defense with that nose guard, 2 different tackles in the stand-up ends.
Yeah.
I mean, they went down there and they, and that's what Holgerson's calling is like, okay, we can't do that. We're going to throw it outside, and it makes the defense mad because we can't do this. Now we got to come out here. Now we're thinking, which way do we go? And that's why, if you look at the game, we got some of those yards, we got some of those plays. Certain things he went back into, which we didn't get to, but we stretched out instead of because we couldn't get out to the corner. We still need to attack him in the inside, and. Excuse me, but I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm not going to get down on the kids.
Yeah.
This team, it happens. People made plays. We just busted, and if we fix that and we don't allow that to happen, and we play the game that we're supposed to, and these kids know it, I still think we can go win the rest of our games. Going into that Penn State game with 1 loss.
And I just think having that bye week is going to be a nice break. And speaking of give me a break, we need to cut to commercial and hear a word from our sponsors, Kit Kat.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
You can keep it to yourself, but it wouldn't be fair, 'cause that chocolate crispy taste is loved
Everywhere. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
And yes, so Kit Kat, whenever you need a break yourself off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
That's
I wonder
right.
if the training table has Kit Kat bars. Probably not, though.
No, but they probably have a lot of steak and chicken.
I'd like someone to break me off a piece of that steak.
Oh, speaking of
I
that,
had some chicken wings the other day at
Yeah.
Double Wings, but yeah.
okay, another way we can bring back the pancakes.
Yes.
you know.
I would love, I miss having pancakes tracked as a stat, and you used to be able to buy the poster that had the O-line and a big stacks of pancakes.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh,
if
man.
you get a pancake, you got a stack of pancakes the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're like, hey, so, I sit there. I don't know. I'm still.
Pancakes or waffles? They keep going.
No, pancake. Chicken
But
and waffles, right? No.
Oh, dude, have you ever been to Lolo's Chicken and Waffle?
No,
Well, I don't know
no,
if it's
I
still open
haven't.
in Omaha, but yeah, chicken and waffle. I can't eat them anymore, of course, but they're good. Waffles have little compartments for the syrup, though, but I don't know.
You know what you do? All right, so
Yeah.
off topic. You know
Yeah,
what
go.
waffle? If you freeze waffles,
Yeah.
they make the best drool catchers for little babies, especially
Really?
when they're cutting their teeth.
Huh. Something
Anyway.
I didn't know. We
Yeah.
get parenting advice on the Bug Pod.
Yep, we do.
Like
now.
Eggo waffles
Yep,
or like
Eggo waffles.
Eggo
Freeze them,
waffles.
and then
Yeah.
they make great drool catchers.
I love the Chipmunks movie where they love the toaster waffles. And
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But anyway, it's just like even today, like I'm thinking about like just that game and just if we just make a tackle here and don't let them have those 3. But you know what? I really think this is going to be a blessing in disguise. For
Yeah.
us. And we're still young. It's still early in the season, still a young season. There's a lot more football out there. A lot of things can happen and stuff like that. It's just going to be fun. I mean, yes, we still have everything we want is out there. We just got to we have to beat everybody at home for the rest of the game. All right, and we got to go upset Penn State.
Yep.
And that's it. We should be favored in every game. And
We aren't going to face a defense like we faced against Michigan in a while.
no,
So that's a plus.
except for when you probably Penn State, and that's going to be
Yeah.
home. That's going to be a tough one, but that's the one where I think if we get going and we make improvements, and it's later in the season. Is November game, and Pennsylvania might have some snow or whatever. You never know what happens during those wet weather, snow, whatever
I
games.
just had something pop in my mind that has never popped before.
Whoa.
Yeah. I just did. An intangible for the Penn State game. Coach Rule is a Penn State alumni. Do you think he plays a little bit harder? And he has said he would leave Nebraska if the Penn State job became open. Do you think he might want to audition? You know, see if he can beat his alma mater to kind of audition.
He already did that at Dimple.
He did, but he could do it again.
It's all right.
But I don't know. That might be a little extra,
I-
coming back to alma mater and doing that.
Well, it's no different. I mean, you know, anybody else from that played at Nebraska that wants to come down here and, you know, but you never know. I mean, we had.
I would like to see a surprising beat at Penn State. That would be a fun upset.
Man, it would be.
That would be. I also would really like to see us beat USC during the blackout game, and that's Halloween weekend. That would be, because we need a high-profile win against a good team.
Yeah.
We need that, and I still think it can come this year.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
For sure.
I do. I think it depends. I'm looking at some of the teams that we have, and are they going to be ranked by the time we get to them? I don't know. It depends on who loses in the top 25 and if anybody's, you know, moving ahead. I mean, I look at it. Michigan State, they're undefeated. They're 4-0, correct? I believe so. So could they be ranked? I don't know. They come in here. If they're ranked 25th, hey, boom, we beat them. We take care of business. We get the monkey off our back and let's go. I mean, you know, but right now it just looks like we have the only team, if you look at the schedule as of now, as today, USC will be ranked. Now, they're going to have to play Michigan before us.
Yeah.
There's some other teams that have to be out there and play. So we'll see on the ranking part of it. But as of now, we can only play the next game. That next game is Michigan State.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one that we need to focus on, and let's work on that. And if they're ranked, let's take them behind the woodshed.
Yeah.
Let's show what little brother is about.
Yeah. Mike Gapp used to call them the meat chicken nuggets.
They call meat chickens and
yeah, he would call Michigan the meat chickens, and Michigan State would be the meat chicken nuggets, the little nuggets.
Now, I'll be honest with you.
We need to get him on Zoom to be on one of these shows.
Great. But I'll tell you what, I have a place in my heart for Michigan State.
You do?
I do.
But why?
Well, here's the deal. So growing up, I'm a Nebraska fan, you know, born and raised in Nebraska, everything, all right? Cousin played there, friends that played there, all that stuff. So I'm always going to root for Nebraska no matter what. If it came down to choosing one team or another. But I look at the conference at the time, like, who do I like out of that conference? You know, which team to me speaks to me? And Michigan State's always been one of those teams that I liked. Now, I'm a big Lakers fan back in the day with Magic Johnson and all that stuff, and that's where he played.
Yeah.
So I rooted for him because of the basketball team, kind of like I like Kansas because my mom grew up in Kansas, and she's a big Jayhawk fan for basketball, stuff like that. So I always kind of choose, like, somebody in the conference, like, who do you like out of a certain conference? When Nebraska was in the Big 8 and in the Big 12. We weren't in the Big 10. I like Michigan State. Okay? Now, Pac-10, you know, I kind of like USC to a point, but it's just one of those things. When they started winning and they got really cocky, I don't care for them. But another team that I liked, and I looked at the SEC, like, who do I really like out of the SEC? And that's LSU.
They got cool uniforms.
Yeah, and
I the Lakers.
Yeah. And the thing on that is just I kind of choose, like, I look at it, I'm like, I don't know. I have a place in my heart for them. I will root for them in certain times in my life. Unless they're playing Nebraska, then sorry, Nebraska all the way and everything else. And it's just one of those things that, you know, it was fun watching Michigan State beat up on Michigan, you know, at that time. So I do have a place in my heart. But when that day, when kickoff comes, that place in my heart is not going to be there for him.
So yeah, but I don't. Let's see. I do kind of like Oklahoma because of the doctor.
Yeah.
And we don't play him anymore. We don't have a bitter rivalry
We
anymore.
will in a couple years. It's scheduled.
Yeah, I wish we would have beat them those times we played them just a few years ago. I would like to get one win against the Sooners, but I don't hate the Sooners. And since we don't run into each other anymore, I kind of like seeing them. And I admit I don't like that Frost said Nebraska was the wrong job, and I don't like some of the rumors about Frost, whether they're true or not, but I do like seeing the man get some success. I'm like, and he seems to not be arrogant about it now. That's something I'm watching a little bit.
But
yeah.
you said Scott said it's. You know what? It's true though. It probably was the wrong job for him, because I get it. Being an alum, we want that to work. We had a lot of ties of like, hey, Osborne from Hastings and all that stuff. Nebraska kid came home, won a national. I get that, but you know what? It's just like.
And I get why he wanted to help, but but
I get it, and he has
UCF is his place. I see it now. He fits, and he doesn't have the scrutiny. And he said he didn't like alumni being involved in the program, and at UCF they aren't.
Yeah.
He just kind of gets to do his own thing. So I get that.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's having success.
I'm so far happy for him.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not rooting for him, but I'm like, when I see one, I'm like, good for him.
Yeah.
That's
So
just what I
we
say.
can still root for Scott and everything else, and it's, I hope he has success, and I think he will.
Except for when he plays us.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Nebraska's got to beat him.
Yeah, but heck, you don't know, and like you said, I respect Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. I do not have hate for them. I respect them. Didn't like when they had a little Sooner Magic back in the 80s.
Yeah.
But now I hate Texas. I do not like Texas.
Nothing could get me to root for Texas.
And that's one thing that I guess
Nothing
me
could.
and Dr. Washington have in common, that we don't like Texas.
Horns down. Horns down.
Yep, that's right.
Horns down. Horns down.
Dr. Washington, just for you, horns down.
Horns down.
That's
We just horns down with both hands, so that's 4. So
And
that
my-
would
and
be
my
4.
toes, man.
Oh, that's
Toes.
4, 15. Oh, that's all of us. So 6. So 15 times 6. So that's 6 15-yard penalties, but that's okay. That's worth it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They can go fly a kite.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those things. And I think that game's coming up pretty soon. That's going to be a fun game. So we'll see how stuff goes. It's going to be a fun year and everything, and we got to keep the faith.
Yeah, I think so. We still got a lot of games we can win. We're getting better. We're a young team. We got the right coaches.
Oh, one other thing that will help us with the O-line. It just popped in my head.
Yoshi's?
No, barbecue, man.
Barbecue?
They need to start eating more barbecue.
More barbecue?
Yes.
I like barbecue. I like ribs, when they get so you cook them so they fall apart off the bone. And just, and that reminds me of something. It's a great song from Emmett Honor's Jug Band Christmas. Yeah. And then my band, Lucky Ducky Creek Band, we recorded a Christmas album. It'll come out on Black Friday, all streaming platforms. It'll be free, too. Don't say we never gave you anything. But anyhow, Barbecue is one of the songs. It's a Christmas movie, but the song itself is not Christmas. So I'm okay with sharing it now in September. So this one, it's not publicly been released, but since the Bug Pod, you guys are my inner circle, you guys get kind of a sneak peek. So we'll sign off with a Go Big Red. Let's get the next one. And here's a little bit of Lucky Ducky Creek Band singing Barbecue.